happy Father's Day to both of my Steves, Steve Dahlke, my dad, and Steve Eversole, my dad-in-law. Today I want to commemorate you guys by making a yummy, yummy sandwich. And especially we're going to be looking at making the bread. Oh my gosh, bread! Gluten-free bread, or allergy-friendly bread, however you want to say it. It's a bane of my existence, you guys. It's so hard to find a good bread that is good with allergies, because when you find one, a lot of times it's like cardboard, or it like crumbles and falls apart, and it's like, ugh. So anyway, I've got a good recipe for you today, and we are about to make it. So let's get to the ingredients. Okay guys, so in order to make a good loaf of bread, you need a really good strong flour. So I have a flour mix here that is great for bread. So to make the flour, you need 1 cup of brown rice flour, half a cup of amaranth flour, 1/3 cup of almond flour, 1/3 cup of quinoa flour, and then you need 1/4 cup of potato starch. Remember, potato starch is not the same as potato flour, just FYI. You also need 2 tablespoons of tapioca starch / flour. Those are interchangeable. Tapioca, interchangeable. Potato, not. Tapioca, yes. Potato, no. Alright, and then you're also going to need 1 tablespoon of what I'm using today is guar gum. You could also use xanthan gum, but again, I like to stay away from xanthan gum as much as I can because there are trace amounts of corn in it. It's not enough to really make me go to the hospital, but it is enough to make me feel uncomfortable after eating too much of it. So I like to use guar gum, which is based from beans. Then you need 1 tablespoon of instant yeast. Now there are 2 kinds of yeasts. There's the regular yeast, and then there's instant yeast, and you want to get the instant yeast, okay? And then 1½ teaspoons of salt. The ingredients for the bread are as follows. That flour mix that I showed you, and then so you're going to do 2 3/4 cups of that flour mix. Then you need 1 cup of water, 2 eggs, and make sure that you beat them a little bit. You want 2 tablespoons of grapeseed oil. Now you can use vegetable oil, canola oil, whatever, but again, I'm allergic to corn, so I don't use vegetable oil. I find that grapeseed oil does really well with baking, so that's why I'm using it. And that's going to be 2 tablespoons of that. Then you want 2 tablespoons of honey. Make sure that it's not the solid form. You want to make sure that it is in liquid form. And I would assume you'd be able to use agave in place of this. I haven't tried it, but I think you could use it in place. And then you also want 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. Then to make our sandwiches later on, I have a story about this, but here's going to be the open-faced sandwich ingredients. You're going to want 2 slices of cheese, whether they be vegan, or in my case I'm using goat slices today. You're going to want some steamed asparagus. You could also, the original recipe that my dad made up called for bacon slices, but I can't have bacon, so I'm doing asparagus slices. And then baked beans. Now a lot of baked beans come again with bacon or meat, some kind of something in there that I can't have. So these are vegetarian baked beans. They're actually vegan baked beans. You can make them yourself, or you can buy them canned from your local allergy-friendly grocery store. Alright, on to the main event. Make sure you have a 9 by 5-inch loaf pan and that you grease it. I used my lovely spray thingy with the olive oil, and then I spread it around. So that's how I greased my thing. So it's time to mix everything together. So you want to make sure you have a spatula, and we're going to do all of the wet products first. So the eggs, of course, and then you want to do the water. And I'm going to mix that up for just a little second. Okay? And you want to make sure you're doing the oil, and remember I'm using grapeseed oil for this. And the honey, which takes a second to get out, so use your spatula to get it out. Honey, 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 honey. And apple cider vinegar. In you go. Okay, so you're going to stir all of this up just for a little bit, about 1 minute, as high as it'll go without splashing. All right, so then gets a little frothy in there. That's totally cool. Then you're going to slowly add the bread mix. So actually, I'm going to keep this down and do it on low speed. And I'm going to add a little bit at a time. Now remember, there's yeast in here, so it's going to be rising after a while. It gets kind of clumpy, so you want to make sure that as you're adding that you scrape it down every now and then. So after I put in all of the flour, I let then I scraped down the sides, and then I stirred it. Well, I stirred it. This guy stirred it for about 4 minutes at medium speed. And this is what you get. So then after that, you want to put this into your pan. So we dump it into the pan. And by the way, the reason I wanted to make bread today is because my dad loves making bread. And he usually uses a bread machine, which I gotta be honest, bread machines can be a lot easier, I think. However, this recipe does better when you do it in the electric mixer. So that's what we did. But yeah, Dad, this is for you, for your bread. So anyway, you dump this in to here, and you want to spread it out so that it fills the bread pan. And then what you want to do is let it sit in uncovered in a nice area that's not too cold, not too hot, that doesn't have any drafts or anything. And you're going to let it sit for 60 to 75 minutes. And it will rise because of that yeast, you know. So right now it looks like that. Hopefully in about 60 minutes it's going to be a little bit bigger. And in the meantime, when it's rising, you can preheat your oven to 350 degrees. And we will see you on the other side. The bread has been rising. I did it for about an hour. And look, you guys. Ooh. This is how high it should go. It should get all the way to the top of the pan. And then what you want to do is you're going to pop it in your oven that's been preheated at 350 degrees. And then you're going to have it in there for 35 to 40 minutes. And then check it at like 30, just because oven temperatures vary. And if you have one of these instant read thermometers, it's basically a meat thermometer, but it's instant read thermometer, that is very helpful because you want the internal temperature of the bread to be at about 200 degrees. So yeah, so let's bake our bread and I will see you in a few minutes. When I was a little kid, my dad knew how to make a few things. My mom was normally the cook, but my dad, he knew how to make omelets. He knew how to make pancakes and waffles. And he also knew for dinner, when Mom would ask him to make dinner for us, if she was gone, he would make us open-faced sandwiches. And they look something like this. Bread, followed by baked beans, and topped with a slice of cheese, and topped with, normally he would top it with bacon, and it was American cheese that he topped it with. But this is asparagus, and then he would broil it, and that would be our dinner. So today I have the bread that we made. Isn't it so pretty? The gluten-free and allergy-friendly bread. I have vegetarian baked beans, vegan baked beans. I have goat cheese slices, although you can also use vegan slices. And I have some steamed asparagus. I have steamed it because if you just put it under the broiler and not cooking it, that's not tasty. So anyway, so yeah, I'm going to assemble it. So we just, a nice thick slice of bread. And look at that, yummy, yay. And then I'll do another one, just to make sure we've got 2 slices of bread. And I'll switch places so that you can now see what I'm doing. Okay, so maybe I'll do 3 slices just to make it so pretty. Okay, so then you top it, baked beans. So he used to slap it on. Dad, you're the reason I love baked beans. And so you put baked beans, and then on each one, And then you top it off with the cheese and the asparagus spears. Oh man. So then you would do cheese like this. Maybe I'll do a little piece here. And another piece here. And then top it with the asparagus spears. And then you would toss it in the oven on the broil setting for just a couple minutes till the cheese melts. Dad, this is for you. As you can see, the cheese has melted. It's nice and warm and yummy and toasty. Childhood memories. Oh, it makes me miss you, Dad. Okay, let's give this a shot. This is a big bite. You know what? Even this way, with the allergy-friendly bread and the asparagus and the change in the cheese, it still makes me think of you, Dad. And Steve Eversole, I love you just as much. We should try this next time that we're together. Happy Father's Day to everybody, and this is allergy actress Mary Beth Eversole signing off for now.